The Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn versus Bronn Breakker. I think we all have some opinions on this. What the hell happened?
3 minutes tops. This match should have been over.
Should have been a 3-minute squash with entrances. Tell them what your son said.
Oh crap! You put me on the spot now because I don't remember. Vamp for a second.
I remember what he said. I
Okay,
could say you said that he was like, I don't understand. If you're not going to have Bronn Breakker win that match, why have he even in the match? Why have the match at all?
Yeah, he said that.
Put Sammy over. Like, Sammy didn't need that. It helped no one.
It did nothing. And then they didn't. Here, do you want to get in? Are we going to go Sad Sammy right now? Because
you can go Sad Sammy. That's fine.
Yes, everyone, check out this theory that is starting to grow some big ass legs. Listen to this.
You started this, and you're just going to make him more sad with this.
Okay.
He's going to complain to Booker T about it any minute.
So yeah, he went Booker T on his podcast did the whole thing where he said Sammy was sad because in the Sammy versus Chad Gable match before WrestleMania to earn the shot at Gunther, the crowd turned on him and the internet turned on him, and he said that he thought the fans loved him, and then Booker T went on his podcast and said that it made Sammy sad, and then Sammy came to him and said that he was sad about the whole thing and that it really hurt his feelings. And then Sammy got asked about it, and he kind of said, "Oh, Booker wasn't supposed to tell you that, but yeah, it bummed me out. I thought I had the fans, and they went blah 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 blah." Ever since then, he has been untouchable. He's beaten Gunther. He's beaten Chad Gable more than once. He beat Bronson Reed. Now he beat Bronn Breakker, who should be a force of nature at this point and just plowing through everyone. And then on Raw last night, they inserted Dragunov into their storyline. And you know they did that because they don't want Sammy to take the pin. You know that's why they did that. Because they want to put the title on Braun, but they're not going to make Sammy take the pin. What is going on?
Sammy. We must protect Sammy at all costs.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
My poor boo-boo. I can't bear to see him frown. Dry your tears, my little mushkin.
And then, like, babushka. My
babushka. I just can't bear to see him cry. I don't know. All he has to do is sniffle and I'll put him over anyone. Except me. He's not beating me.
After the show, Triple H at the press conference, out of nowhere, was just like, "I think Sammy, he's not an underdog anymore. Now he's a real wrestler." What are they?
So he had to beat Bronn Breakker to overcome that status. Like it could have been anybody.
Not good.
Just like your son said, it could have been no one.
Well, he should be very proud and very happy because he did a great job and he's my special guy.
He's got
we're gonna moves. We're going to take this IC title and we're going to put it right here, right on the refrigerator for everyone to see. Now we can see it every day. Good Lord, I couldn't. Like, we were all watching this, and we were all saying to ourselves, "Well, this is a foregone conclusion. Like at this point, it's just play acting. It's going to happen, you know. And he beat him. And a guy, look, I'm sorry, I know Sammy's an athlete, but a guy that looks like Sammy beating a guy that looks like Bronn Breakker like that this early into his career, I don't know. Mm-hmm. If you think it might be too early for Bronn Breakker to win a title like that, which I could hear an argument for that, then don't have this match.
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what it is? As annoying as because we're old school. Like you could go back and watch. I always go back to this because I think he was the king of it. Lawler was a genius. Whenever he wanted to bring in, whether it was Godfather or Kamala or just whoever the giant animal was going to be, right? Lawler had no problem jobbing to the guy the first night he brought him in. Just get absolutely massacred. Not even just he lost, he got massacred. To put this guy over. we had Braun essentially murder Ricochet, right? Like he's dead. Ricochet died. The R.I.P. Ricochet. He massacred Dragunov. So it's a little jarring to see that Sami survived. However, I can understand what Triple H was trying to do because he backed it during the press conference. Sami is stuck as a character to the point that he's almost starting to become annoying, right? Like they realized they were in the danger zone.
Almost.
Because
I'm highly annoyed.
People were cheering Gable, after he dumped him on his head because he was kissing his wife. Like Sami's in a weird spot. So now you have to do something with the character. We're sick and tired of Sami pretending he's an underdog. Sami can't be an underdog anymore. You either win or you don't. Sami has essentially beaten everybody under the sun. This was just kind of a space to, get him to like a next level. With Braun, Braun has run rampant against everybody except for a seasoned member of the roster, right? Like this was Braun's introduction to swimming in the deepest water. He took Sami to the very end. Braun, even though he lost, he still looked good. It's just everybody is upset because we were expecting a 4-minute squash.
I got worked.
We're just, it's just you're in a funky spot to be. I think Braun getting the IC title is a foregone conclusion. SummerSlam is still a long way off. You tend to not see big title changes like that until you hit SummerSlam, or you hit the wasteland zone between SummerSlam and Survivor Series, where we don't know what's going on if you're not going to be in the War Games match. I think everything was just kind of like storytelling, jockeying. It's just no one got the result they wanted because we're all kind of tired of Sami.
Well, I think it's a deeper issue too, because I don't think Sami should have ever had the Intercontinental title.
No, well, and that's the problem. It should have been Gable.
Right.
Sami took Gable's story. I think Gable probably wound up better for it in the end, because he's over as a heel. Like the dude is legitimately over. He just needs his moment. He just needs his moment. They're giving him lots of tiny ones to keep him afloat.
You know what? George Captain in the chat just pointed out what would have been the reaction to a squash on a 5-match card. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
No,
it's a 5-match card. You can't really have a 3-minute match.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It should have been a 5-match card then. Like that's my thing. Is that like there's deeper.
It shouldn't have been that match.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on Sami Zayn and the?
I don't know. I was going to ask you guys a question because you follow it so much closer than I do. But it feels like the company is almost trying to do a do-over. Like maybe Triple H or someone who's now in power who wasn't back then thinks that Zayn should have beat Roman up in Canada and is trying to overturn that somehow or make it up to him. Because he is a top hand and he is reliable performer for the WWE. And then the other thing I wanted to ask is because I'm from the Attitude Era generation, and I think if I would love to see the Goldberg gimmick again, just with someone who could carry a match and who's ready for it. And if you're not going to do the 150 or maybe the modern version is I don't know, they got weekly TV shows. They got more PLEs and WCW had pay-per-views. Why couldn't they get to 130, 150 now? And if it's not going to be Bronn Breakker, who is it going to be in this generation?
Now it can't be now. So
now it can't be now.
Well, but I'll give them this though. They are very good about making wins and losses matter when they want them to matter. You could just as easily have Braun go on a 100-match winning streak. Yeah, and be like, oh my God, who's going to stop it? Not caring that he's lost on the main roster. It's just like we have to survive at this moment. I think with Sami, I don't know if we've ever talked about it since we've been doing the show, but the way I look at Sami is he has the potential to be the modern day Foley for the WWE. He's a very affable guy. People like him. It's very easy to get behind him. He's not going to be the guy who wins all the time, but when he wins, you're going to be super into it. And I think, because Vince, other than the Bloodline thing, Vince didn't ever really know what to do with Sami, other than maybe take advantage of whatever little quirks it was that Vince saw in his personality. Because going back to his NXT days, Sammy always wins. Sammy's the guy who gets beat up, and he always winds up winning in the end. Now we're seeing it, but damn, it's been like such a long since Roman, right? Since he went the distance with Roman, Sammy's never really been in trouble, and all we hear about how he is this underdog. But I really feel like they're kind of prepping Sammy to kind of finally take that to grab that Foley status and be the everyman champ for everybody. He won't be the guy who holds it for 6 months, but he may be the guy who holds it for 3 months and then gets it again. And
that's actually interesting, because I think a lot of us, in our point of view, we look at Sammy and I see a made man. I don't see Sammy as a guy that needs to be built. I see Sammy as a guy. He at any point Sammy could win a world title, and I'd be like, okay, I get it. That makes sense. So to treat him,
I think he could win the world heavyweight. I think he could win the world heavyweight title. Like, he can unseat Priest, and I'd be okay with it. I don't see him taking Cody down. Like, I don't think he's on that level.
Not Cody. No.
I didn't mean that he would beat Cody. I just meant if they decided.
I never for a second thought that we were ever going to get to the point where he was going to beat Roman. I was not one of those people who ever, even for a singular second, thought that was going to happen.
Right.
There was no way. There was no way.
You're an old jaded wrestling fan. We're talking about the kids.
It's true.
The kids and the younger fans, when they were telling that story, the people really thought that Sammy could have been the guy. We know he's not going to do it, but Sammy has the ability to trigger believability with younger fans. And that's for them. That's what's most important. Like, yes, Sammy's a made guy, right? We know Sammy's a made guy because he gets lots of main event slots, but he's not made officially until he gets a big gold belt. I think what we're going to see is you're going to see that slow transition towards he's finally going to get in a position where he can get that belt. They got Braun. Like, yes, this match was long, but Braun beat the shit out of him. And Sammy won because he survived. Even the promo at the end, they had really Sammy put over the fact that he was pretty much physically broken and that he doesn't really know how he won the match. And that he hasn't felt that way in a long time. He didn't even say that about Gunther.
But to be fair, he walked out like nothing happened the next night on Raw and was, happy Sammy, and everything was normal again. And
ironically, in his Mick Foley shirt.
Yeah, actually, yes, that is true. I mean, this is all leading to Sammy Uso, right? Like, I think
it's got to be, and you know what? And I think once that happens, anyone's problem with Sammy will go away, because once he's on Team Roman Bloodline, I think all will be right with the world again, because he'll be back doing whatever one likes seeing him doing. Producer Neckbeard pointed out Brian Alvarez freaked out because Sammy didn't beat Roman in Montreal. I remember that. I was like, did you honestly, for the love of God, stickly think that this was going to happen?
He thought it was going to hurt business too. That's crazy.
It certainly didn't.